Good morning, everybody. My name is Nate Morris, and I'd like to welcome you back to another video. Today we've got rounds 3 and 4 of the summer shootout for y'all. Unfortunately, last week we got rained out, and so round 3 got pushed till this week. So we've got a doubleheader now, both races taking place on Tuesday. In Monday's practice session, I didn't do so well. I was a little rusty and couldn't get a feel for the track, so I ran like a 17.9 or something. And 2 weeks ago, I ran a 17.60. So there's a lot more I can go out and get. But we're going to jump right into qualifying here and see if we can go straight into the A mains. It's a little bit smaller field this week. There's 33 cars in the semi-pro division. So hopefully I can make it in. Based on Monday, it's not looking too good. But I just need to go out here in qualifying and run a good lap. I hope y'all enjoyed today's video, and let's get into it. Man, that's disappointing. I ran a 17.95, which puts me 26th and second in the B main for round 3. And in a situation like this where they have 2 races in one day, they take your second best lap from qualifying, and that is your qualifying time for your second round. So in round 4, I'm going to be 26th with a time of 18:03, and that's second in that B main as well. So I'm just going to have to transfer through. I need to pick up some time. I'm just going to have to go out here and send it. The whole field's about 2 to 3 tenths slower than they were 2 weeks ago, but I just need to make up a lot of time on the field. A 70, which I ran easily 2 weeks ago, would have put me around 18th or so. So I just need to go out there and try to find that. And if I can find that, I'll be pretty happy in the B main. I also need to transfer through. And so I'm just going to go out here, learn what I can, transfer through, and just race a whole bunch today.
Track caution lights have been extinguished. That pace car, I would advise that pace car to get well out of harm's way. And there it goes. Ryan DeMartini, Nate Morris off turn number 4. Down to the stripe, green lights are on. And we're racing down into 1 and 2.
Yellow.
Pretty loose start as far as the, maybe too far spread out. So that one going to come back.
Get lined up right back where you
Gonna
were.
try that one again. Take 2. Oh, Nick Bubbles Bronson now going to give him another warning. Oh, no. Oh, look at him. Oh, he's giving him the stink eye with a flag stick. Nick Bubbles Bronson giving him the stink eye down there now. You don't want a stink eye from that guy. Oh, never. A stink eye from Bubbles Bronson. Boy, that's something you might need counseling after that. Oh, my. Glad you've joined us here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, America's home for racing. So glad you've joined us across the country, across the world on Flow Racing. Here we go, B-main time, much, much nicer off turn number 4, and the green lights are on. 4 cars to qualify, 10 laps is the distance as they make their way down into turns 1 and 2.
Yellow, 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 yellow.
Or not.
Star. Yellow,
Let's try
yellow,
that a third
yellow
time, shall we?
I said it in the driver's meeting at the orange stripe. Not before the orange stripe, at the orange stripe.
Oh, here we go again. More stink eye activity. Oh, this time he's going to point with the black flag.
Right there, orange stripe.
And they're getting admonished from race director Kyle McGowan. That's never good either.
Yeah, they're getting a double dose right now. We've got the one-way communication, the receiver. So they got Kyle Flash McGowan on the receiver and Nick Bubbles Bronson with the flags, trying to deliver the message. Preaching the gospel, if you will.
I think I heard something about at the orange stripe, not around it or before it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know where the orange stripe is. It's kind of hard to see out of turn number 4.
Yeah.
So, you know, we'll see if they can fire at the orange stripe this time.
Yeah. If they're watching from the space station, they can see the orange stripe. Here we come, off turn number 4. Down to the orange stripe. There it is.
Ready,
and,
ready.
oh, there we go. Much better that time. Green lights are on. And DeMartini gets the advantage, the edge, down into turns 1 and 2.
Gets a little shove there from behind, but nonetheless, he's able to get out to a pretty healthy lead just at the exit of turn number 2. And really, it's a matter of just hit your marks and do what you've got to do. I know Todd McCollum's got that 22 car dialed in for DeMartini already. About a 6-car length advantage. The fight, though, is going to be for the 4th spot. That is the 4th and final transfer position. David Sullivan has it in that gray 007 car, and it's Jordan Plummer trying to find a way around.
Jordan Plummer trying to find a way around. Michael Bradshaw in the back making moves. Oh, we got a couple of them together over in turn number 3. Hillenberg gets down there with Lance Griffith. And it looked like Hillenberg's maybe had something break on the front of his car, or they got hooked together or something.
Yeah, that left front tire is pointed towards the left, and it has not moved.
Completed 8 laps to go. Top 4 drivers will transfer to tonight's round number 3 A main for the VP Racing Fuel Semi-Pro Division. Ryan DeMartini is your leader. Jacob Link is second. Nick Morris is third. On the hot seat is David Sullivan. Jordan Plummer, 1 spot out of the money in that number 22. Been watching the 84 of Michael Bradshaw. Bradshaw is looking pretty stout as well. Has some pretty good speed in that race car. We'll see what he can do as they choose here on the front stretch, inside or outside lane.
That was a rather unorthodox choose. You had 1 car low, another car even lower. Interesting. But they're lined up 2 by 2, and top 4 are going to stay top 4. We'll see how they sort out in turn number 1.
Ryan DeMartini going to bring this field back to green. DeMartini in that number 22 machine, doing a nice job out here, setting the pace.
Nice and easy. Nice and easy, easy, easy.
Off turn number 4. And the green lights are on. Ryan DeMartini down on the low side. Nate Morris up top. Link right there off the back bumper, trying to find some racing room. 5 cars at the front of the field, mixing it up.
5 cars mixing up, 5 of them pulling away, and only 4 can go to the feature. Jordan Plummer realizes that now is inside of David Sullivan. That is for the transfer spot into turn number 1. Sullivan tried to turn left. Plummer was there. Plummer for now has the position. Now Sullivan going to be the one on the outside looking in.
Sullivan going to have to go on offense, but he also has a problem off the back bumper with Michael Bradshaw. Bradshaw is out there as well, and so we'll see what he can do as he rolls around the speedway as we continue now logging laps. Up at the front of the field, DeMartini is your race leader, and he'll get the signal halfway down, halfway to go. The battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. A dandy up off from turn number 4.
It's a dandy, and there's a little contact there, it appeared. Jordan Plummer, big slide off turn number 4. Open the door wide for David Sullivan to take the spot, but Sullivan having some trouble getting by, now finally clears Plummer, and here comes Bradshaw in that Kyle Beatty number 84 car. So Plummer going to go from in to way out, back in P6 now with only 4 laps to go.
4 laps to go, keeping an eye still on that battle for position number 4. David Sullivan has it, but I'm telling you, Michael Bradshaw in a big hurry in that 84. He goes way down to the low side, able to get that car woed down, and off turn number 4, Kyle Beatty awful proud of that effort right now. Bradshaw down on the low side trying to take that final transfer spot. David Sullivan on the outside looking in at this point.
Yeah, he now has lost a couple of spots, has David Sullivan. He's got to figure out a way to get back into a transferring position. But, you know, there's, 5 cars right there under a blanket with 2 laps to go. All it takes is a couple of them getting together, a couple of missteps, and before you know it, you might see McKenna Crocker racing her way into this thing.
Yeah, Jacob Link has the 3rd spot. Michael Bradshaw's 4th. Now David Sullivan has regrouped, and he is right there off the back bumper. The white flag is out. One more trip around the quarter mile. At the front of the field, DeMartini has about 3 car lengths on Nate Morris. 3rd, 4th, and 5th beating on each other off from turn number 2.
Bradshaw is trying like the Dickens to not run in the back of Jacob Link. I've seen those tires nearly lock up. That time he did. Sullivan spins behind him, and that was the 5th place driver. So the final transferees will be Jacob Link and Michael Bradshaw. DeMartini and Morris also racing their way in. Everyone else going to take it to the trailer and make some adjustments for the 2nd round of races here this afternoon.
Yes, there we go. We finally transferred through to an A feature. That feels good to say, especially after last week of qualifying 2nd in the B and then just throwing it away. Feels good to just cruise to the end of one of these things and get in. Man, I'm super happy with that. I ended up running a 1776, and so now we're starting 26th in the A feature. And my goal for that is just to keep the car clean. We have a choose cone, so I'm really just going to choose the outside pretty much the whole time. Give myself an option if they wreck in front of me. And just going to take care of the car. Try to get as many spots as I can, but most importantly, not wreck the car because we've got 2 more races to complete the rest of this day.
Yes. Sean McElhenney gets the advantage up on the top side. Crafton looks low. Oh, Poindexter gets hooked together with Lanstra. They both go skittering down off the racetrack. Lanstra has front end damage on his car. Poindexter sits down in the grass.
Yellow, 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 yellow.
And so all kinds of chaos on that one.
Low and 2, low and 2.
We are now under caution. Pro drivers are working their way around the speedway and getting set to go back after it. 1 lap has been completed. Here they come. Off turn number 4. Green lights are on. We're racing down into 1 and 2.
Well, let's hold our breath here, and 3 wide off turn number 2. Watch out. Michael Crafton thought about on the bottom. Everybody able to hit the brakes early, and we get to turn 3 and through turn 3 without a skirmish. Lap number 2. This time we're going to go to the short. I'll get it out of my mouth in a second. Sean McElhenney in the 98. Race leader off turn 2.
McElhenney has the advantage. The great battle for the 2nd spot as they work their way off from turn number 2. Michael Crafton gets that advantage for position number 2 over Trevor Wester. Crafton works the 2nd. Wester is in the 3rd spot. Here's Georgie Phillips right there in that 55 car. Back there in the 5th spot is Jesse Martinez. So great racers, the semi-pro drivers, stepping out here now on it as they come around to complete lap number 4.
Everybody's starting to figure things out here. They're starting to get a feel for the racetrack. And really, this is the coolest race we've seen all day. Almost the entire racetrack now shaded in the shadow of the grandstands here at Charlotte and just the back straightaway in sunlight. It's been a pretty hot, scorching day here. So any little bit of respite you can get, that shade, certainly a welcome bit in the cockpit. But both ends of the racetrack going to handle it a little bit differently as we watch this battle here for 3rd spot. Trevor Wester trying to fend off the advances. Jesse Martinez off to turn 3.
Yeah, Jesse Martinez is right there off the back bumper of Wester for the 3rd spot off turn number 4. Here they come down across the stripe. The driver right behind him is Brody Gunter. The racer out of Stark, Florida is right there in the 5th spot, keeping a keen eye on things as they race off turn number 2 onto the back straightaway. The backstretch here at Charlotte is pit road for the NASCAR racing. And the battle at the front of the field. Crafton just gave McElhenney a shot in the keister off turn number 4. And now Crafton just way overshoots it. Wow, all kinds of action. Crafton has a problem in that 9 car.
I'm not so sure something did not break on that car, Steve. The way that thing kind of did a
Yellow.
I would not be surprised if a trailing arm is broken, or I don't think the tires are flat, but certainly that was not an ideal situation for Michael Crafton, who has now come to a stop outside turn number 2.
He's the guy from Curious George, all right.
He's something.
Off turn number 4, green lights are on. We're back racing here. Sean McElherney sets the pace. This time he's got Jesse Martinez on the high side. Trevor Wester down on the low side in the 8 car. Martinez able to slide down into that 2nd spot.
Well, they're not for long. Bump, bump, tap, tap, ding, ding. There go the bumpers. And look at, oh, there went Brody Gunter. Peeking the inside of Trevor Wester. Could not make it happen. Slides into 4th, and the first side-by-side fight is behind them. That is Jaden Bowling in that blue 77 car, and the Canadian Austin McDonald on the outside. A little bit of a different color scheme for him in the Joe Ryan camp. And well, here comes George Phillips. We've said his name a bunch this summer already. Man, these guys are really getting after it here in the early going.
Yeah, they really are. Some great racing action here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Eloy Falcon down there, one of the Rev Racing drivers. Great racer from down in Mexico in that 84 car, looking for running room down on the inside. We've got a driver out of Mexico just passing a driver out of Canada here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. An international flavor here tonight at the great Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Can't forget the Japanese drivers we've had so far this season as well. We've got multiple countries represented, and I'm sure we'll see more before the summer is over.
Yellow.
Olivia Murray, the
06-9, 22-38 involved.
and a couple of others have slid into the fracas as well.
Carry him high off of 4, high off of 4.
Slowest here with 11 laps complete.
And Eloy Falcon in row number 3. Here we come. Off turn number 4. And the green lights are on. And we're racing again. Oh, we got parts flying, cars skittering down there. Ay, ay, ay. Incoming down there as the number 17 car slides up the racetrack. Lastra picked up a win last week here at the track, and he is sitting in a bad spot off turn number 2. And we come down to the stripe.
Yellow. Go low and 1.
In that number 98 car, Trevor Wester. Boy, I'll tell you what, Trevor Wester, there's a fine young racer in that 8 car. He's all over the back bumper. Jesse Martinez, Brody Gunter, George Phillips, Eloy Falcon. Oh, they're just beating the snot out of each other down into 1 and 2. Amazing, they're all still pointed in the same direction.
We had a nickel for every time there were tire smokes. So there was tire smoke in turn 1. We might be able to go to Cookout and grab ourselves a Cookout tray. It's been one of those kind of afternoons, no doubt. Another lap goes in the books, lap number 13, and all behind Sean McElherney. That number 98 car, he's got a little bit of a gap now. Call it about 3 car lengths. Back to Trevor Wester, Brody Gunter, and this fight pretty hot and heavy now for P2, 3, 4, 5 on back.
Yeah, they are really working each other over pretty good. Jaden Bowling is in there in the 77. How about the number 64 working his way forward up there in the racetrack? Lucas Vera picked up the win over in Kannapolis at the Earnhardt Outdoor Showcase. Lucas Vera is there in the 64. There you see him. Man, I'll tell you what, there is some great racers here, and they are running in the back half of the top 10. The front half of the top 5 is getting physical, and Brody Gunter works to the low side of Trevor Wester. Here's George Phillips looking for racing room.
And Trevor Wester was not very appreciative of the little shove that he got from Brody Gunter in turn number 1. Repays the favor. Gunter loses 2 spots, allows George Phillips and Trevor Wester to get around. But man, these guys are just trading blows up here. Top 6, 7, 8 spots. They continue to lay bumpers to one another. There's Gunter again to the back bumper at George Phillips. Moves him up out of the groove on the exit of turn number 4. Tell you one thing, these VP Racing semi-pros, they get physical, and like it or not, it's kind of how they race. They like to lay the bumper to one another, and it's great when it's under control like this. It can be bad when it gets a little out of control.
It's like a revival service. There's a whole lot of hands being laid on each other down here.
Yellow.
Around in turn number 3. Man. So great mix of racers. Jesse Martinez, the Florida racer, runs in position number 5, and a little more laying of hands, if you will. Oh, Brody Gunter and Trevor Wester can't get away from each other, and boy, Brody Gunter didn't get far away from Trevor Wester on this one. Keep an eye on that one.
No, George Phillips is kind of the victim of that one. They were all locking bumpers getting into turn number 1, and Brody just happened to be the first one to get to George Phillips. So it's kind of that old thing, the bump and run. The key part of the bump and run is the run part. If you don't get away, it's just going to be a bump and a bump. That's how that usually works. But Gunter right now has done a good job of getting far enough away from Trevor Wester to hold down the second spot without any sort of contact for now. But they're all chasing that 98 of Sean McElherney. He is, I'll get it out there eventually. McElherney, he is continuing to really lay pace to this field as he starts to stretch it out up front.
He's just been solid. He just has been totally solid here. After 5 laps to go is what we have here. And he has just not missed a beat. They've been clubbing each other from second on back. And he just kept his race car clean at the front of the field. Just clicking off laps, the same pace every lap. And around he goes. Now speaking of laying hands on each other again, here's George Phillips and Trevor Wester getting after it down into turn number 1. This for the 3rd spot now. And Martinez sniffing around looking for some racing room as well.
Yeah, Martinez able to close up on that battle. He's going to try to take advantage of the hole that George Phillips creates off turn number 4. And he will do so, at least getting underneath the Trevor Wester, giving him the preferred lane into and through turn number 1. Martinez is going to try to complete that pass, and he'll do so. So Wester from 3rd now back to 5th, and he's got more pressure behind. 64 Lucas Vera and Austin McDonald trying to come through.
Yeah, Lucas Vera, former Bandolero champion here at the Summer Shootout. Right here in the area, doing a nice job as he runs in the 6th spot, but things are still settled down at the front of the field. Sean McElherney, he runs off from turn number 4. Nick Bubbles Bronson, the white flag is in the air. One more trip around the quarter mile. McElherney, he sets the pace down into 1 and 2.
Yeah, Brody Gunter has been running slightly quicker laps than McElherney, but he's going to run out of time. One final desperation attempt into turn number 3. And Sean McElherney is going to emerge off turn 4, a winner in round number 3 of the Cookout Summer Shootout.
98.01, 55 the text. 98 needs straight to the stage, right next to the text.
Career best run, P2 down the backstretch, and watch out.
Man, that was a lot of cautions, but that was fun. Using the choose cone, I got up to 12th at one point, and then just kind of dropped back to 18th. But that's really where I was kind of running anyway. My lap times aren't consistent enough to go up there and run in the top 15 just yet. That's something I need to work on. But I enjoyed that. Started 26th and worked up to 18th. So I'll take it. This is only the 2nd time I've run a feature race. So to do that, I'm pretty happy with it. We avoided the wrecks, kept the car in one piece. And now we've got 2 more races that we can go run. I'm pretty confident we'll transfer through from the B main. And so then we can go run that and then another A main. And hopefully we can get some good finishes out of those.
All right, you're going to get to draw now, all right?
And the crowd goes wild. Track caution lights are out. They're going to continue the game of Pictionary down there on the front stretch. Randy Phillips, Nate Morris, Daniel Sullivan, Jacob Link, Jordan Plummer, McKenna Crocker, Lance Griffith, Dustin Hillenberg, and Michael Bradshaw going to try to get the final 4 spots. What a shot into turn number 3. Holy cow. Link went in there from Gastonia, tagged the back bumper of the 25 of Nate Morris, and Morris saved that race car.
Yeah, how Morris held on to that, I do not know. And everybody behind him checked up, but did not lose a whole lot of ground. So the top 2, Randy Phillips and Nate Morris, they are for the moment free and clear. But top 4 have to race their way in. The next two is anybody's guess because this is the battle for the transfer spot into turns 1 and 2.
Lap number 2 has been completed. This is a 10-lap race, and Jordan Plummer is looking to the inside of David Sullivan. Sullivan is there. There's the number 31 of Laney, I believe that is, on the low side looking for racing room as well, as Laney looks on the inside trying to take that 5th spot away. So Sullivan got the quick shuffle. Now Plummer is in the hot seat in position number 4.
Plummer going to try to hold on to this one. Only 4 laps complete. 6 laps to try to hold everybody off. We saw last time in the B main earlier today, Plummer was in the same boat. Ended up falling on the outside of those transferring in, trying to learn lessons there. And conveniently enough, racing Jacob Link, who was also involved in that earlier today. So maybe Jordan Plummer learned some lessons, can hold on to this 4th spot that'll get that 22 car into the feature. We're like, maybe he had an issue. Oh boy, white flag in the air, and once again we have got a 4-car race for 2 spots in turn 1.
Yeah, up front it's Randy Phillips and Nate Morris. Link, is the car falters off turn number 2. He's able to hang on to it. Laney is in the 4th spot. Link takes that spot. Laney gives him a shot, gives him another shot. They bounce off each other. They're bouncing through the air. How about that? Link is
checkered in yellow,
22,
25, 74, 007 advance.
Sweet, we transferred through again. I really thought it was getting thrown away on that first lap, though. Man, I got turned so sideways, I don't know how that thing didn't go around. But I held on to it and brought it home second to transfer. If it hadn't been for that, I think I could have got the leader and maybe won the B main. I lost about a half second in that one instance and lost the race by about a half a second. So if that hadn't happened, I might could have won it. But I'm pretty happy to transfer through with second. Unfortunately, for the last feature of the night, my camera batteries died, so we really don't have any footage at all. So what happened in that race was I started 26th, we had a 1 caution, and I used the choose cone to get up to 18th, and I stayed there for most of the race, but in like the final 9-10 laps, after running all the races, my brakes started to fade a little bit, and I fell back through the pack to like 24th. So I ended up going 26th to 24th. It's still a gain, not really the way I wanted to end off the night. I really wanted to try to get a top 15. But that's something to come back and work on next week. I think we can get there, getting better every race. And today was a lot of laps, a lot of learning opportunity. I ran 76 laps with all 4 races and qualifying. And man, I'm kind of wore out, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. Didn't expect to run 4 races in one day, but sure enough, we did it, by gosh. So, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I hope y'all have a good 4th of July, and I'll see y'all in the next one.